Another week, another one biting the dust, thinning out the East Coast as fast as the West is going before it even started. Welcome back to RotoMoto. My name is Donnie. This video will go over the latest injuries and recoveries in the sport, and stick around until the end to find out how you could win an authentic Colt Nichols jersey, courtesy of our friends over at O'Neal. Let's lead off with the big one. Pro Circuit Kawasaki loses their third rider in as many weeks, with Seth Hammaker confirmed he will miss the start of the East Coast rounds after suffering a practice crash this week. Seth's statement reads as follows: "Devastated is an understatement. Crashed yesterday during practice in preparation for round 1 of East Coast. Fractured arm/wrist. Surgery Friday to get this thing fixed up. It's been a great offseason till this point. Felt like I had all the pieces to compete for wins and be in the title fight. Focusing on what I can control now and use this to fuel the fire and come back stronger." Obviously, Mitch over at Pro Circuit has to be in tears at this point. The team lost Austin Forkner in the opener, Ryder D in Oakland off week, and picked up Carson Mumford last week to fill in for Forkner, but then loses Hammaker leading into the 4th weekend of the season. Couple this with Jet Reynolds, who was sidelined with injury as well, and that leaves just Cameron McAdoo and Joe Shimoda left to carry the torch towards a complete season. No timetable for return for Hammaker, but it seems reasonable to expect him to line up on the gate again before the Supercross season wraps up. Speaking of Carson Mumford, his former Team Bar X Suzuki was no doubt reeling from his departure to Factoryland when news broke that Derek Drake would miss a chunk of time after a crash in the opening heat race in San Diego. On the opening lap, Drake had the inside line through a long rhythm, running in the top 5 when his line came together with Revo Kawasaki's Dylan Walsh, which led to Drake eating soil in the following bowl turn. Drake did try to line up for the LCQ, but ultimately they did not finish the heat. The number 53 updated us on Monday after getting evaluated, saying, "Not the news I wanted to share regarding my heat race crash in San Diego. Turns out I have a fracture to my left humeral head, neck, and my shoulder." Colby Kopp was the rider that actually caused the red flag in the first 250 heat race, who was seen being carted off by the Alpine Stars medical unit. Colby posted his own vlog for the day on his personal YouTube, which included an explanation of his incident. Colby has entered the sport's concussion protocol and hopes to line up this weekend if he's cleared to return to racing. A non-injury update from last weekend, but after his incredibly gnarly spill in the first corner in San Diego, it looks like Levi Kitchen will be good to go for Anaheim 2, simply describing it as a tough night before proclaiming that he is looking forward to Anaheim. Mitchell Harrison was also slammed to the ground in the opening turn and failed to remount his machine. He is also reported to be fine and hungry for the Anaheim Triple Crown this weekend. Henry Miller has been riding his 250 practice bike in the 450 class to get some gate drops in before tackling the East Division next week in Houston. The Ty Lube Honda rider had some trouble with the Dragons back at Snapdragon Stadium in his heat race, took him to the ground, but Henry is back on the entry list for A2. And finally, some updates about guys that we lost earlier in the year. Marvin Muskin is confirmed to miss the round after suffering a wrist injury in practice leading up to San Diego. No official timetable for his return, but it seems he will sit at least a few more weeks. Benny Bloss looks to return after a heat race crash in the series opener left him with an injured tailbone. Nothing major, but has been very uncomfortable to ride with, causing he and the Tedder team to forego the San Diego round to be better prepared for Anaheim this weekend. And finally, HEP Suzuki's Brandon Hartranft posted an update Thursday after he suffered a slew of very serious injuries at the beginning of December. Unfortunately, his healing has not gone well. Brandon wrote, "Went back under the knife today to get my shoulder fixed. In my crash, I broke my scapula and it displaced my glenoid connecting to the humerus, so my shoulder was offset. It has been healing the wrong way for the last 8 weeks. Therefore, they had to go in and re-break everything, add some new screws, and put everything back in place. It was about a 5 or 6 hour operation. Glad I got it fixed and I'm on to recovery. Should be about 6 months until it's healed." Be sure to drop a like and subscribe to RotoMoto for more breaking news and analysis like this. If you want a chance to win an authentic Colt Nichols jersey from O'Neal, be sure to check out RotoMoto on Patreon. Just $5 gets you 1 entry, or $10 doubles your entries and gets you some rad PulpMX fantasy perks like the enhanced cheat sheet and inclusive podcast to patrons. I also host a live show immediately following the 450 podium ceremony right here on YouTube. Be sure to pop in if it's not too late in your time zone. I would love for you to join the conversation. Thanks as always for watching RotoMoto. My name is Donnie. Keep it pinned to the weekend.